3, 2, 1, go.
Because having a good mentor is important. Now, so Hanan, you got money, yeah?
Yeah. I had a stipend.
Nice. Did you give trade, by the way?
Yeah, so this
Did I
is the
give
thing. I
Here you can use your parents really well. Like they will have a lot of contacts. So don't be hesitant to not ask your parents. Just
it
ask.
should be online, but unfortunately, no. We didn't talk much about like the third year period. So what did you do for internships exactly?
Okay, again, internship I was in Qatar itself. So it was an architectural firm, I would say. Okay, QTC, it's Qatar Design Consortium, and there I interned as a structural intern. Okay, now in that office, there's like a lot of people. Like it's not like here, like currently where I'm working right now. It's just me in the quantity survey. Here, there's a lot of structural engineers, and but here, all of them are like young people, like maybe just 5 years or maximum 4 years elder to us, around that age. And I had a mentor. She was again mentor. I'm highlighting that word here because having a good mentor is important. Now, thing is, as an intern, sometimes they won't give you the value, because you uh, because they have a lot of work already and they have to spend that additional time teaching you and then making you do the work. So which is hard. It's not like we know everything about structural engineering. I'm taking an example, structural engineering. um, so initially I had to learn the software. She had to teach me that from scratch and then slowly make me understand different things. And intern experience, it is nice. I mean, I got to know the work life of a structural engineer, but doing an internship is always good, even though it will help you in your future, but still at least it'll help you in this aspect of whether you still want to work in that field or no, if whether you like that field or no. Because when you're in college, you won't have much idea. Only when you start interning, you'll have an idea of what field you really want to diverge into. Like at that point after the internship, although I understood all the concepts, I knew what the work was, but I knew it wasn't for me. That's why after intern, I like eliminated that career field as like structural engineering. It's a no-no for me. So internship was great. Now third year internship, I didn't get through campus placement. In during our time, it was COVID, so I believe like none of my classmates got through placement, as in campus placement. This thing, all of us. In civil, I'm talking civil. Now, civil is a branch where companies don't come. So yeah, so it was a great experience. Like I had an amazing experience doing my intern, and yeah, that's it. How were your intern experiences? Like Hanan, Sana, Amoolya, are you doing one? Planning to do one? Amoolya, come on, start.
Uh, yeah, so I am planning to do one. It's like the thing is, I'm very confused. I don't know what field I want, and then like there are people already very good at some field. If I'm interested, if I'm a little interested, also people are already very good, and companies will naturally choose them over me.
Okay.
So I'm still in the process of finding. I did one intern last year, so I know that that's not what I want to do. Like you said, yeah, I probably want to do a research intern.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah.
For me, the internship I also got through off campus, and it was just three of my, like, including me, three of us, my close friends, working on a project together. And nobody in the entire plant had any clue about it. So it was like working on our own. So it, it wasn't much of a learning experience. It was, we learned a lot on our own, but it would have been nice if we had a mentor figure, like you said. So I did not have that. So I felt that absence for me personally. What about you, Hannah?
Yeah, so mine, I got it through campus placements, and mine was mostly so. So what they did was they just split all of the interns into different teams, and they gave us like isolated projects to work on. So it had nothing to do with the real developmental projects that the company was working on. And I think that was for me, it was a good experience because that way we just went through the entire like software development life cycle. So we had like proper idea of these are the requirements from scratch. You have to start something and finish it in 2 months. So I think it was a nice, like they had a proper, well designed internship structured, which was good.
So Hanan, you got money, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. I had a stipend.
Nice. Did she give treat,
And
by the way?
yeah, so
Did
this
I
is the
give treat?
thing. I I had to like tell myself to not touch the money in that account because, like you said,
Oh,
like once I start
yeah.
spending it, I knew that I wanted to get something for my parents, and
Okay.
then I was like, I want to start spending this fruitfully, so I just
Okay.
kept it there. But now, before I
Nice.
decide what to do with
That's
it.
good. Nice. All right. But treat your juniors. Amoolya, come on.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm
I
Arthur, but both of them are given so many treats. I feel bad at
Oh,
that
yeah.
point.
Okay, fine. That's a point. Like, at one point, it'll be like, oh, seniors have given us so much. Now, you just feel bad. Alright. But we got lucky that way. We didn't have to
exactly.
treat you guys at all. It was just the 2 months, and I don't think
Mm,
we gave. Did we give any time? Maybe little 1 or 2 months. I don't
We
think I
went
gave.
once outside.
yeah.
Ah, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's
Oh
just
yeah.
just once. All right.
Yeah.
Sure. Well.
Okay, we'll call a reunion and then make you guys
Yeah,
pay.
yeah,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
definitely. Yes, yes, for sure.
By the time you guys will also pass out, no, it's okay. We'll have a reunion.
Let's hope before that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, talking about internships, since you got an internship off campus, what are the tips for people who are pursuing off campus internships or even placements for that matter?
Okay. About placements, I don't think I'm the right person to, advise or something. But what I would like to say is go for what you like. As in, if you are interested in software, IT, data analytics, but I feel like there are a lot of people, going into data analytics and all just for the sake of money, which is fine. I mean, if money is what they want, then it's okay. But if money is not really the major reason why they're choosing that field, maybe try not to because you don't have to waste your time there and you can go for what you really want. But yes, money is important. So I know that's why people, especially majority, many people from civil, they just go into data analytics and fields like that. But I'm happy that some people in civil also turn into go for these government jobs like UPSC, they write UPSC exams, they go into that. About placements, advices, what I would like to say is I am not really the right person to talk about it. So just give it a shot. And placement, say if you don't get placed, there is always another company that's ready to hire you. And all you need to do is that amount of hard work and understanding of your core engineering if you're planning to sit for I'll just talk about core because I've not sat for data analytics, so I'll just talk about my part. So core, just know your basics. You don't have to know your advanced, core subject. Know your basics, make sure you know it pretty well, and with that you can survive any placement or any interviews.
I
Okay,
think
that's
that
nice.
is
Yeah.
important to note that once you're looking for core, I think it's very easy to get demotivated towards the end because it is so
Yes,
difficult with the number of
especially
companies.
civil. Yeah,
Yes, especially civil. I've
especially
heard
civil.
so many of my friends ranting
Yeah,
about this.
and not
Yeah.
like you get paid a lot. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Civil is especially that. But yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And
Yeah, okay. Again, going into depth of campus internships. So there are
Yes.
like personally, even I was very, very confused on where to start, where to look for. Either, let's say, not everyone is blessed with having such good contacts where you can get internships from. So for them, what is the right place to search for an internship? Is it LinkedIn or is there anything more we need to do?
Okay. From my experience, let's divide that into research and company based. Now, research, like Amoolya was saying, research is all about mailing. Yeah. Just have to keep mailing the profs of different universities. Or if you want to do an actual internship, there are a lot of programs. And I'm not very aware of that. But if you want to do it in India itself, in some IITs, I know mailing them and having a good cover letter and basically your purpose should match their interest. So that's the whole point. And so research interns are pretty difficult to get nowadays because not every prof is ready to not take interns randomly. But if you have a good profile, that's great. Like if your interest and their projects match, they'll mostly take you into that intern. That's what I know about research. That's how I got like one research intern. Me and my friend, we started meeting profs. But the funny part is like I didn't get it. Like that guy got it, but since I was like helping him with things like that, so he shared it to people, and a few of us joined too. So that's how we got. And even my second internship related to IIT profs, my friend applied for it, but the prof asked if she wants to add someone else. So she called me in. Yeah. Now that's what I told in the first in the beginning. Relationships, keeping relationships is really important. Uh, be it some random stranger, make sure that you at least wish them for their birthday, so you can keep their keep the relationship. Yeah, in fancy word we call it networking. So yeah, networking is really important, and always try to help people, and because one day they'll just think about you. And yes, like how I got this thing, they'll be like, oh, do you want to join this research internship? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So always whenever you can, try helping people, and in turn they'll also remember you. So in research interns all about mailing profs, matching of the interests, and there are programs also. IITs will have these summer internship programs. So make sure that you are updated on all of those. Go to their websites and see whether they are providing those internships. So that's what I know about research interns. Company interns, LinkedIn. From my experience, it's not like a great place where you can find jobs. Maybe just going to the company's career page and checking for opportunities, if there are any intern opportunities, or just mailing the HRs, or calling the HRs up and mailing the HRs about this, that you want to do, you're interested in this company and you want to do an internship for this period. That I think that'll really help. And having a strong LinkedIn profile, it'll help. I mean, it's like an added advantage. I wouldn't say with just your LinkedIn profile, you're going to get a job or an intern. That's like an added advantage. And you have to put in efforts to, mail them and contact the HRs. That's what I know. Uh, I think, yeah, if you talk to more people, you'll get to know their experience. Now, this is one thing, yeah, just talk to a lot of people. It's not that you just have to have, talk to one person and they are the Bible. No, you have to talk to a lot of people and get to know what works for them, and maybe what works for them might not work for you. So you have to find your own path to finding a job or an intern. And here you can use your parents really well. Like they'll have a lot of contacts. So don't be hesitant to not ask your parents. Just ask their parents because they have these many years of experience. And of course, they'll at least know one uncle or auntie who can help you. So yeah.
Now coming to your FYP, this I
Wow. Okay.
yeah. So because
Okay.
Hanan and I are going to have that phase now,
Okay.
and we wanted to know your experience.
Do you really want to know my experience? Okay, FYP. Now, our last semester is when we had this FYP. Yeah. So now, first thing is we'll have to approach a prof who is ready to take us. Now, in civil, we had this criteria where half like there should be around 4 people, I guess, in a team, and then 4 of them should have above 8 CGPA, and 4 of them should have, I mean, sorry, 2 of them should have above and 2 of them below 8 CGPA. So we had the CGPA criteria and everything. And some smart people, smart groups, they went long back, approached prof, and they did the like summer small internship with them. So they continued that. Okay. And so they continued that as their FIP. But we people, we were like, okay, this time we can approach profs. Now, the thing is, we'll approach like nice profs, those sweet kind of profs. But then they were all booked. And there was a period where like we wanted like almost like 3 groups wanted that cert itself. But it was like only 2 groups are allowed. 2 max groups are allowed per prof. But now I think it's one. So there was like this big fight happening. We are like, this is not fair. The CRs had a lot of trouble. And then at last we were like, okay, fine, whatever. We'll just choose another prof. Then we had to choose another nice prof who can accommodate us. And that's how we came to one prof. And it is not a subject that we all like. Okay. So the FIP, which final year project that we did, was related to soil engineering. So soil mechanics, soil engineering. So it's not a subject that most of them like. So and it was during online, all these fights, everything that's happening, all these criteria. So we had 5 people in our group, and none of us were interested in soil mechanics. All of us wanted like transportation. which is a nice field. So at least you're like, okay, whatever, we'll just do this. We'll just get some work and then do it. And thing is, our group were mixed people. Like we weren't like very close friends who were together. We knew each other. We were close. And but after like first part comes where we decide the topic. Okay, so we had to read a lot of research papers and finally come up with a topic, and our sir should like it, and our PhD scholar who was assigned to us, like they should also like it and all. Then we came up to a with a topic, and we finalized that okay, when we come back to campus, we'll start our work. Okay. Because we didn't like wanted to use software and stuff like that. We were like we chose civil for a reason. We don't like computers, and but anyways, these. So we went back to campus and we slowly started doing our FYP. There was a point where we just gave up. We were like, why are we even doing this? It's pointless. But our PhD scholar helped us a lot. So make so having a good at least if the prof doesn't fully help you, the PhD scholar who's assigned to you, some profs do that, like they assign a PhD scholar to your group. So if you have a scholar that helps you, it's great. It'll be fine. And somehow at the end of the day, we finished the FIP. It was tiring. It was tiring. Uh, but yeah, at the end of the day, when you see those books printed, we actually have a photo. So photos printed, we are like, at last over, everything over. Now after FIP, we all went and had a biryani. Yes, that was the end. The end.
Wow, that sounds like a roller coaster.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, Hanan, yeah, got disconnected. Yeah, but yeah, that's when it got me thinking about online
Mm.
sims. How did you guys think? Online sims were
Okay, yeah. So for me personally, that is when I started building good friendships with people around me,
okay.
even in class,
Nice.
and that sudden break sort of stopped that friendship between
Mm,
until like there was a break, but then at least with classmates,
okay.
we the time that we bonded was when copying for exams, when we
Okay.
all of us used to get on calls, group calls
Okay.
together, and delegate questions to each person to Google
Uh-huh.
and write. That was one way to bond. And then few of my friends were standing for student council elections,
Ah, true.
so we were the campaigning team.
I
So
remember
all of
that.
that,
Yeah.
there were the bonding was there between classmates, and then Toastmasters was always there. We used to have
True.
club meetings and all. But otherwise, academically speaking, this was one time that my grades improved, but
Improved.
the what I studied decreased. So after a point, I was so used to not studying for exam, but still scoring well,
Mm,
that I did not see the need to study,
mm.
and that somehow backfired. But yeah, I survived. What about you, Hanan or Amoolya?
Oh, Hanan, we are talking about
Amoolya, go ahead.
online sims, by the
Online,
way.
yeah.
Okay. Mm. Amoolya, go ahead. I'll go next.
Yeah, okay. For us, it was first sem, second sem online. Third sem, we had offline exams. So
Ah,
that was
yes.
like, yeah, it was a nightmare. Like, but then thankfully we negotiated, we got an open book thing.
Okay,
But
good.
then still the profs are like, it's an open book, so we will not give easy questions, it's going to be hard. But still it was manageable. Yeah, online it was good. So the thing is, it was like first sem, it was very fresh, new and stuff. It was very different. But I choose online any day. Like third year should be online. But unfortunately, no.
I think for me, I am audible, right?
Yes.
I think for me, it was kind of it helped me improve my like friend circle online. First of all, like in yes, in the ways that Sana was saying, but also because I was part of like a lot of teams, and I think it honestly helped me that way to juggle everything because it was online. It is so much
Okay.
more manageable, and I think just open up to people more over text initially.
I relate to
So
you,
yes, that's it. I know that you will relate to
Yeah.
it. And that kind of set a nice stage for me to transition to when things were offline because then I could comfortably talk around people and things like that. And academically also, I think I started taking it more seriously because I saw that I could manage everything. So I think third sem, I didn't pay that much attention also, and I scored much lower than what everyone else was scoring. And I realized, okay, I have to do more than this to actually catch up to everyone else. And since then, I've been more serious academically also. So I think it was nice. Like I think although we lost 2 years and I didn't want to lose that much also, but I can't say it was all bad online.
True. But did you guys have like experience with profs? Like we had this one subject where the prof used to call our names and had to answer stuff and all. Uh, so one day, like usually I listen to all her classes. Now she's a Malayali, and of course Malayalis will know each other. So uh, thing is, one day I listened to all her classes, okay, and her classes are pretty fun also. She's a nice teacher, nice prof. Uh, so there was only one day where I slept off, and that day she had to call me, and then of course I didn't reply. Then suddenly like. Our friends are actually nice, they call you up, then in WhatsApp they call you. And thing is, in Qatar WhatsApp doesn't work, so they'll call in duo and whatnot. And then at last, we had to write this apology of why I. You can't say like I slept off during a class. It'll be like insulting a prof. Hey, so that experience, was funny, nice. What about you guys? Did you have any experience with profs, online classes and profs?
Yeah, so the HOD at that time for us, okay, now I'm not revealing what SEM, what prof, nothing at all, but
Okay.
the professors, they were very, very strict about attendance and people being attentive in class. So they used to randomly call three roll numbers randomly and ask a question. And 2 out of 3 days, 97 would be one of them, and that was me. And I knew nothing about whatever was taught because there was a prerequisite for this subject, which I also did not pay attention to. And every day we used to have whoever did not answer, or like, so whatever questions were asked were the assignments for that day. So you either have to
Okay.
answer that in class
Oh,
or submit that right like half an hour after that class ended. So that class was very, very difficult. And yeah, we did have a lot of, you know, sorry sir, I could not answer.
yeah,
Sorry sir,
exactly.
I did not listen. I wasn't present in the last class and stuff like that. But yeah, later it was just, that period was very, very, very nerve wracking for all of us. But
Yeah.
it passed. It was okay. What about you guys, Amoolya, Hanan?
I think mine was I didn't have a lot of professors that way, but then the few who were very strict about attendance were super picky. So they had, I think one prof just had this method of taking attendance by calling out names despite it being online. Like she would call out each roll number and that too in a random order, and she would sometimes call a roll number twice. So for these classes, we would just be very, very attentive and like on edge, and we would have the people would be sending each other I don't know if you guys remember this, but then there were these popular videos for internet connectivity issues, like
Oh,
play this
yeah,
when
yeah,
they call you. So that was circulating, and that was a whole lot of fun and like anxiety also at the same time.
yeah.
Amulya.
Yeah, same. Even I've not had many profs who are very picky, but then there were like few friendly, like if you're like if the prof knows you, like if you're his or her good books, then it's fine. Like we had this one prof, he used to call out five people, and then that those people have to stay unmuted throughout the class.
What?
Yeah, and whatever he says, like, can you see my screen? Only those five people have to answer.
Okay.
Yeah, but then that prof was nice. So yeah, it wasn't much of a. But we've had moments where we've had moments like these.
So, how was your experience online? Like, I know you missed a lot of fun being online, but it would have been another experience as well, right?
It was fun. Like as Hanan said, I'm more of a person who texts a lot, even though I don't talk a lot. I text a lot. Like especially during COVID time, I used to text like full day, or like midnight, whatever, text, and yeah, it was fun. And half of the COVID time, I was actually in story time. So um, just when the COVID news hit, I the flights are like blocked. I couldn't go back to Qatar, and I couldn't go to Kerala also because my parents won't send me through train and all. That's another thing. Yeah. So so there was no way to go back anywhere, home. So one thing that we did was like me and my roommate, like Meenakshi, TMA Meenakshi. Yeah. So we stayed in her aunt's house in Tuticorin. So it was an amazing experience. Like I had like great food, like awesome food, like vegetarian, homely, awesome food. And then the auntie and uncle, they're very hospitable. They're very sweet. Um, and we used to play like COVID was nice. I mean, we slept till 10. Uh, then just talked to each other, had breakfast and things like that, and played. There was an akka there, so we played. Went out. As in, we lived in a quarters kind of place, so we just walked around the quarters, and it was fun. So since I wasn't with my parents, I didn't have to do anything much. Like all I had to do was text, and then play something, badminton or board games, or uh, during COVID, all of us played Ludo. I guess, yeah, Ludo, then talk to friends, then TM meets were there. That was nice. TM meets were there, then rehearsing for speeches. So that's pretty much it. I didn't study a word because none of us knew what was going to happen during those months. First 2 3 months, we didn't know whether classes would happen. We were just totally free. I mean, I think we were never like that in entire life. But yeah, during those days, I did not have any much restriction. But when I went back to, I could go back to Kerala. But that was a big journey actually. I think I gave a speech there also, already, where like a stranger helped me, as in, there was no other way that I could go to Kerala. Like, I had to go through the border, and we had a lot of procedure behind it. And luckily, there was one random uncle. I have no idea who he is, but yeah, thank you. Yeah. So that uncle helped me from Madurai to the border, and border my mom and uncle were waiting. So yeah, from there it was the Kerala COVID season. So there, you're just again inside our home, uh, and they're also just texting. And what else is there? You can't do anything much. I mean, and that's when I guess classes also started. So and we studied. Did we study? No, we didn't study. We just talked every day. Somehow spent our time. Then came back to Qatar. And Qatar it was a bit different. We could go out and all, but with our masks and everything. So online Sam was nice. It was a different experience. I wouldn't say it was horrible, but it wasn't that nice either. Uh, 2 years just went by like that. 1.5 years just went by like that. But yeah, it taught us a lot of things. I'm pretty sure it taught all of us a lot of things. Who our actual friends are, and whom we can actually talk to during that time. Yeah. So there's a lot of thing we could understand more about ourselves, time for ourselves. So COVID really taught all of us, and all of us needed that break, like our parents and ourselves. Yeah, so it was a nice season. Actually, my mom had COVID the last week. This yeah, and now it's just like this thing. She just isolated herself in the room 1 week, and then that's it. So yeah, so that's how my online sems were. It was good. We learned a lot of things. I had fun. It was fun for me. Yeah. And then, but being back in college was extra special.
I think the first like 5 minutes that I was back in college was just me trying to soak in the fact that I'm
Oh,
actually
yes.
back. Because they did this whole thing like twice or thrice. They would just call us back, cancel
Ah,
it. And then
yes, you
Sana was
guys,
stuck
yeah.
there too.
I get it.
I remember that phase of Hanan. We're sitting at the mess and she's just staring at some random person or some seat. For 10 minutes. She's not eating, she's just staring into space. That's it. She's lost.
No,
And she defends herself saying she's jet lagged.
I
And
am
she's
jet
been there
lagged,
for,
so
yeah, yeah, sure.
I could not eat. Like I am generally not that great in the morning. I'm not a morning person. Plus, I'm jet lagged. You can't expect me to be that enthusiastic, okay? And I'm a little dazed because I'm back also. So Sana
And
wouldn't
yeah, I
stop
remember.
picking on me at all.
Ah, That's what friends
No,
are for.
because exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
And we've been there, and like two batches of people came, ate, and left from that bench, and she's still staring. I don't know what happened to her. Yeah, I remember that day very well because none of the juniors were used to seeing us in person. That was the first
Yeah.
time we met them. Yeah, so everybody would just go run to share and say, "Hi, hello." And then after 1 minute of conversation, they would look at her and I'm like, "Oh, Hanan, that's you." And they would just, I don't know what. Yeah, that was
Mhm.
fun actually.
I think the biggest thing was adjusting to people's heights because online
Yeah,
everyone was the
Yes.
same height. And then you have to adjust to, oh, this person is as tall as me. I'm shorter than that person. This whole height adjustment was another thing for me.
yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, so we've come to one of the final topics that we kept to the end is your Toastmasters journey. And you've been a member since the beginning. You've taken up multiple roles, responsibilities. You've been an integral part of the club. You've given the club a lot, as much more than what you've received probably. So, how was that experience, and how did that, frame the person that you became now?
Because now I didn't put my hands in a lot of clubs. Okay, like I just was a part of like Toastmasters majorly as a club, Toastmasters, and then a few other random small town clubs. But yeah, Toastmasters. Now the first part, as I said before, there's something about Toastmasters that gave an a spark. Right from the induction briefing, I knew this was my place. Like uh, I knew if I be here, this would be my family, and this is where I know that I will grow. And right from the beginning, it's just a feeling that you have. I don't know whether you guys had that too, but it was just a feeling. I knew that I Toastmasters will help me grow a lot, a lot. Now, as I said, like I would call myself an introvert, situational introvert. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Uh, I don't like, I cannot keep a conversation for a long time until I'm like very comfortable with that person. Or I actually kind of talk well with strangers, which is interesting because they are new people. We can ask the same set of questions. But to already known people, I'll be like, okay, what else do I have to ask? Why should I even talk to them? So having small talks, was very hard, and also public speaking. When you talk about Toastmasters, one part of it is speaking, public speaking. I was horrible at it. Like if you have noticed, even now, like words don't come up, as usual. Words don't, just come in your mind, and it's not like a flowing smooth river. Okay, it just goes here and there. But in Toastmasters, what I've learned is it's okay. I can make mistakes. It's fine. You can make mistakes. You can learn from your mistakes and grow. And even if you make mistakes again, there's always a place, always a next day where you can grow. So that's what Toastmasters have helped me. Each speech that we do, I know I'm not like given 100% best speech. No, I have given a speech, and I myself know that I have not done well. Now, when we have like extra people, like evaluators telling us where to improve and where to grow, we actually know where specifically where we have to improve. So next speech, we try our best to implement those, but not. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Now there are a few things which are natural to us, like for example, using a lot of so's, losing a lot of ands. I still use it, and but at least there's someone to tell us that you use it a lot. So how can we improve it? They tell us that also. This is where Toastmasters unit differs. If you go to a random public speech contest, now I'll tell you about that also. I joined a random public speak contest. I'll tell you about that later. But yeah, they just tell, oh, you did a great job because they don't want to hurt you, right? They're not going to talk to a stranger and tell, oh, you did bad. You could have improved this. A stranger wouldn't actually say that because why would we say that and then hurt that person? Yeah. But being in this club and being in this community where everyone is here to grow, everyone is here, is ready to listen and improve. So all of us have that same kind of mindset to improve, and definitely that has helped me. That concept of we are just humans, we make mistakes, and we can grow. And again, we make mistakes and we can grow, as I said before. So this is one part of Toastmasters that I loved. I don't think any other teams, they make you do the work, not make you do the work. You have to do the work. And if you make a mistake, that kind of will be a problem. Yeah. And but Toastmaster, it was like a safe space. Yes, that's the right word. It was a safe space where we could grow and learn. Now, personally speaking, like for my interview, um, we'll start with the journey. Like I can start from the beginning. Yeah, rock bottom. Yeah. Right, so my interview, the first interview, like Rohan took it. I don't know whether you guys you know Toastmaster Rohan. Yeah. So he took the interview, and then again there was a Malayali. So he was like, "Oh, you're from Kerala, okay, yeah." And then that's a student. Oh, that's a student as well. So my first interview actually went pretty well. It was nice. It was just having a conversation with a friend, which is great. And for a first interview, you just need a person who you can talk to uh, them well in a pretty friendly way. It was great. The second interview, I just had two interviews. Yeah, second interview was scary because I had Mirana and Sachin. No, they're like great people. I was like amazed by them during the induction. So first of all, they were intimidating. I gotta lie. But at the same time, they were asking questions, and I couldn't answer like a few of them. Like, I didn't know something about Toastmasters. I didn't do my full research. Um, but still, they gave me a shot. Then I had an activity to do. So Mirana asked me to. She gave me an option whether to. She was like, Do you like prepared speeches, or do you like on the spot speaking, table topics?" So for some reason, I told prepared speech because I was horrible at first table topics. I knew I couldn't do that. So, but I never thought that she would give ask me to give a speech that day night in her hostel room. Okay, now she was like, "Okay, Marlon, now you have time till 10 o'clock. You can come to my room and give a 5 minute speech." I was like, "Okay, I can't say no now," because I said I like prepared speeches. Now, luckily, we had our English course. We had an English course, and we had an activity where we had to give a speech. Now, I had given that speech kind of, but it was not like, Toastmaster level and all. But I had to make some improvements so that when I went back to hostel, I rushed. I had to revise just my speech a bit, and I was practicing in the common room. And I was like, oh no, I'm not going to get into this. I can't do this. Then I was like, okay, and that's the first time I'm going to a senior's room, um, like properly. I've gone to a few seniors' room, but for this is like the first time I'm going to be there for a long time. Then I went there. Miruna was there. They were very friendly. Okay, it's not like how it was in the interview. They were very friendly. They're like, "Oh, come inside." Miruna was there. Anne was there. Anne was the VP membership, VPM, at that time. So Anne was there. Miruna was there. They were all smiling, happy. And there, and I was shivering. I was literally shivering, and I somehow gave the speech, and they actually liked it. They were actually laughing when I cracked a joke, and you know, it was it's a nice experience. Although I was using a lot of sauce, a lot of hands. I still remember like shivering, and then but at the end of the day, when I saw them laugh, I was like, oh, okay, this is nice. Then yeah, I got selected into this another round. We had a group discussion round. That was our final round, so-called final round. We had another round. Yeah. So we had a group discussion. Group discussion. I think I was the only girl in the group, and group discussion went pretty fine. It was okay. I kind of I was like, I don't think I'll get. Others were speaking much better than me, and we had to do a skit kind of thing also. We did that. We messed it up, but yeah, it is. And then we were waiting, and told us that we had like one more round. Like how we fooled you guys. We also had that experience. That's why we wanted to do that to you guys. Uh, so they called us all to MIG, and we went there. So all of us were scared. We were just a few people, yeah, and all of us were scared. We were like, "This is the last round," and all the seniors were there. Like Surya was there. Sachin, I remember. I know Surya was there. Miruna was there. And was there. We were like super scared, and then this like all of us here really badly wanted to get into the club, and we were all like literally in that mind of, oh, we have to be better than the others. And we played games. We played games where we had to advertise like unusual items, things like that. And then last we had the shipwreck round where before that they asked us to choose our favorite cartoon character. For some reason I don't know why I chose Mickey Mouse. And yeah, if I'm not wrong, yeah, it was Mickey Mouse. And this shipwreck happened, and then we were all talking, and then somehow we had this thing. I mean, we finished that part of the shipwreck. After that, they started discussing within themselves, okay? Fake discussion with themselves. And they were like, okay, we have the final list. And the story started, they started calling names. And luckily, I was there in that name. So I was happy, okay? I was like, okay, yay. About a Toastmaster. But there were the other few who were, in the seat. So we were all confused, like, they told they will take like around 9 people per club. So we were like, kind of confused. And then at last they all said it's a prank, and yeah, it was nice. It was a fun this thing. Then yeah, from then on, it was like a family. I mean, all these Miruna, Vikram, Akshaya, they were all like amazing speakers, and we always looked to them. We always, and they were ready to help in whatever ways. Being into Toastmasters Club help us with the speech. Especially after my first speech, all the seniors, like literally all the seniors, came up to me. They called me. Miruna especially asked me to call her when I'm free, and she was. I still remember the points that she told me, like the points where to improve and how to connect to the audience. I still remember her call, like after that speech. Um, so getting feedbacks and having a community to tell you that this is where you can improve, and seeing you grow throughout the years is again really special. And I'm pretty sure all of you are grace, because I know that. And all of you, AD is here. Who am I talking to? AD is here, Pressy is here, VPM is here. So I know all of you, all of us have grown a lot, and this club, of course, being a major role part of it. Now I don't want to keep on talking like this. I want you guys to tell how seniors were a part of your life. How did they help? I'm talking about Toastmasters in particular. How did we or our seniors helped you guys to improve on your journey?
I think it's just it's very natural for us to look at seniors for feedback. So the way like we're assigned mentors right when we enter the club, and we are generally, I think, just the first meeting when you get a role is when you feel like you're just thrust out there. Like, oh, already I just got inducted. I thought I would have a meeting to adjust, but no, they just give you a role. So it's, I like how that kind of forced us out, at least me, like it just forced me out to at least speak to someone for advice and ask, what am I supposed to do though? So that just kickstarted just me asking for feedback, and from there it didn't stop. Usually I'm a person who is very hesitant to ask for help also, and when I took on an XCOM position, it was very, very difficult to adjust, especially in my second year. So I had to keep asking doubts again and again and again. And there were a lot of seniors who, when I approached them for roles, especially you, Merlin, I remember you would never say no. You're like one of the few people who never ever used to like tell me no unless it was
Not
unless it
like
was
I was
something
very
else.
busy, but okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, even then, like, not a lot of people had that sort of approach to taking up roles in general. Some people would just scene zone, and,
Okay.
and then there was, you were the other end of the spectrum for me. So that was always nice. And I think just the evaluations from the very beginning when you guys were there, I would just wonder, like, at some point, it was very hard to imagine myself in as the senior most person in the club, because you guys were always there, just guiding us, and little by little, even any role that I took up, I would get feedback from someone or the other. And it was hard just transitioning from third to fourth year and realize that, okay, now we are that person for the juniors. So I think somehow you guys were preparing us for when you guys would leave also. And I think I never realized that until final year. So, Sana.
Yeah, actually, I relate to that a lot. And for me personally, it all started even before I got inducted. And that is that, like, one person who helped me got inducted was you, Merlin. Like, I
I still
remember
remember that
my,
day. You asking me
yeah,
to. Yeah.
my second PI got shifted, and I did not know anything about Toastmasters. By like, I was supposed to know, but I did not. And Merlin Gigi was the induction chair, and she was standing right in front of me. And my PI got rescheduled, so I was there sitting for like 1 hour, and then I was bugging her. Hey, what is this? Can you tell me what all questions they might ask? And she sat down and taught me every single thing, and then I went through and everything. And my first PI was very very scary. It was Akshay and Vikram. Both of them had poker
First year
faces,
itself.
and yeah, first PI itself. And the first question that they ask is introduce yourself as a cartoon character. And my mind went blank. I don't remember a single cartoon that I watched all my life. And but the second PI, thanks to you, it went really well. It was with Sachin and Surya. It was like we were bonding.
No, they
I don't
liked
know.
you actually. I remember like Surya telling, "Oh, she's nice."
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad. That PI went really well, and everything that you taught me that I could talk talk that out with so much confidence, and that was all thanks to you, first of all. And I
Yeah.
remember after after before the results were out, I think Cheryl and I were having lunch or breakfast in the mess, and you sat next to us, and you waited until we were done eating, and we were talking about you. That was very sweet of you. And even after getting inducted, like Hanan said, when Angad approached us for roles or whatever, throughout that journey, like you, Angad, Jandran, Kratika, and all the other seniors as well, they were always there for us to approach. And even as when I was the VPE, that thing was always there where we could come to any of you to for anything or for any roles or whatever, and you guys were always there. And Merle, like, yeah, I don't know how many times I bugged her to take up roles, TM Modi, whatever. Every single time she said she never says no, and that is very nice. And one thing that I noticed that changed now is that even like last year when I was the VP, I always had Angad to talk to about any decision that has to be taken. So it was us discussing things and taking like it was I had someone to talk to about things. But now as the area director, it's like I do have a lot of people to talk to, but it's like I'm on my own. And I spoke about this to Angad also, and it's like it's very different from what I had imagined because it's a lot of responsibility and it's on you. And it's and this is one thing that I realized that okay, seniors did play a lot of a lot more role in my life than I had imagined. And when I reach out to them, that is when I realized that yeah, you guys did make a lot of difference for me. Yeah. What about you, Amoolya?
Yeah, for me, it's like I still feel like, like I joined in the second year, and then I still feel like a kid because of like you guys. And now I don't know how it'll be after you guys pass out because I still don't feel that responsible. But then I have a little bit of a taste to that because of the mentor, whole concept of mentorship. So then, my first speech, I remember Sherin sitting down. She made me, say the speech 5 times, and she actually analyzed every single speech. I was like, why is she doing that? I mean, she's in like second year, like she's giving so much time to me. And then now, when I sit in front of Lakshi, it was my mentee, and then she gave a speech recently, and she won Best Speaker. I was so happy. I felt more happy than giving a speech myself. So I feel like it's a lot of responsibility, but then seniors they play a very very important role in our lives, and especially Toastmasters.
So that's what seniors, play a vital role in our, uh, especially TM journey. And even though your, I mean, it's not only that your mentor will help you specifically. There are a lot of other people who's ready to help. And one thing that I liked what Hanan said was, you are afraid to ask, but you had to ask. Now, this is even I have this problem. Like I hesitate to ask. Now, that's one major mistake that most of us do. We hesitate to ask. Now, ask. That's what we have to learn. You have to learn the art of asking. That asking your doubts. Just don't be afraid. Just ask and they'll be annoyed at some point, but it's okay. I mean, they are your seniors. So just go ask whatever doubt it is, whatever help you need, just ask. I'm pretty sure majority of them will be ready to help, and all of them will be ready to help if they're free. So make sure you ask, and whatever doubt here, even if it's small, tiny thing, such as how do I start my speech? Simple question. You can ask your seniors because they have also grown. I mean, they have also, have had the same phase. So keep asking your seniors. And Toastmasters personally, yes, has helped me a lot in my speaking. And if you see like 10 years back, or yeah, 10 years back, um, if you say Marlin was someone who would give a public speech and all, my parents especially would laugh. I mean, because I would people. I mean, everyone, even now, like people define me as that quiet kid at the back of the classroom. Yeah, the quiet kid. But I'm still the quiet kid, but who can talk and who can give a speech. So that's a different, power. I really like they got into this public speaking. What do you say? Uh, Sector or part of it, just because of Toastmasters. Now that's when, like, I like to share this where I had applied for this contest. So in Qatar, I was mentioning that before, yeah. So there was this Qatar Public Speaking Championship. I forgot the name. Yeah, it was kind of like that championship, and I was like, I saw this in the newspaper. That was like the maybe the few times where I opened the newspaper. So that day, so I saw this poster. I was like, okay, there is a cash prize also. I've been a part of Toastmasters. Maybe I can give it a shot. And it's very scary because the whole Qatar is going to be there, as in all the best speakers around Qatar is going to be there. And I was like, okay, what harm is it to just apply and give a speech? And then I applied and kind of prepared the speech. I knew like it wasn't a great story or something. I was just like, okay, let's just give it a shot. And I went there and met a lot of people. And guess what? All are Toastmasters. I'm like, obviously, all are Toastmasters. I mean, who else would come to a public speaking championship? And I got to meet a lot of other Toastmasters here in Qatar. And Qatar itself, there's a lot of Toastmasters. There's Toastmaster hub here. Got to meet many people, and actually, one VPM started texting me about joining Toastmasters and everything. I haven't got time to go. I am planning to, but yeah, there was a championship, and when there met a lot of Toastmasters, heard like great speeches, and they uh yeah, my mom came in between. Anyways, yeah, this is what happens when you're at home. Now, yeah. So after listening to her speeches, I was like, man, there's still a lot to learn. I mean, it's not like uh 3 years of Toastmasters, that's enough. No, you need Toastmaster, I think, your entire life, to grow, to learn, and then just get awed by people who are better than you, and then get to their level. And the actually the champion, I got to hear, thankfully I got to hear the champion speak. And I was like, wow, that's really great. I don't know, there's something about public speaking, uh, that at the end of the day, you just go like, oh, okay. And yeah, I mean, Toastmasters, it's there's no word. Like, I mean, I still feel like a part of it. I still want to be a part of it. And I've grown. I have learned a lot of things. There's still room for improvement. But yeah, all you need, I think, in Toastmasters, all of us have, is that willingness to learn and grow. I think that's all that matters. And at the end of the day, that will help us to become better leaders. And yeah, as you are, yeah, all of you are. AD, Prezi, VPM, come on.
Yeah, that's true. Like, okay, did you go to attend or did you go to participate in the
Uh,
event in Qatar?
Event? Oh,
Hmm.
participate. Yeah,
Participate.
I
Okay,
gave a
how was that?
speech. Yeah. It is good. Like, I just narrated a story. We had a theme. Like, it was communicate, conquer. Oh, I forgot the theme. Great. Okay, it was something related to that. And I did not, I was scared. It's not like, I don't know, even if you have a lot of experience speaking, at the neck of the moment, you will feel nervous. You'll be like, I have given a lot of speeches. Why am I nervous? Oh my God. And then, but it was nice. I gave a speech. It wasn't bad, but I still had room for improvement. And one comment that I often get is, my voice is very sweet. That's not sweet. This is, voice is very like, it's not very loud and commanding. But yeah, maybe I'll have to work on that. So yeah, it is fun. It is fun participating. I'm looking forward for the next year. I'll participate.
That is, I think, a nice note to end on. So you don't like stop growing or learning just because
Yes.
Yeah, just because you're probably done with college or started
Exactly.
work. So that is a nice note to also end this episode with. I think we have covered quite a lot in this episode. We've talked about work in Qatar. We've talked about FIFA first of all, and we've talked about a lot of different things about civil internships, how difficult it is to get a core job, maybe off campus, and Toastmasters, of course. And that brings us to the end. It was a really, really informative episode. Thank you so much, Merlin, for joining us. And we will be winding up this episode on that note.